This is the full book summary of The Art of War. This is the essential translation of the classic of life, and you must know it to your core. Once you know it to your core, of course, you'll be able to apply it to your own life, but today we're going to do it with a simple summary. You could just go ahead and watch the last 4 videos. Actually, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 videos I made, the first one being 20 minutes long. I made a mistake, so I split them into 2 from then on. Let's get started with. This is The Art of War. This is by Sun-TZU, otherwise known as Master Sun, the master strategist, the master medieval fighter man, the one who could pretty much do anything you could imagine. Anything. He talks about land, the different types of spies, the different types of generals, the different types of resources, different types of communities, and of course he even talks about everything that you can literally think of. Because he talked about everything you can literally think of, is pretty much how he can go ahead and trust these soldiers, the armies, these different types of terrains, and all kinds of things. I'm gonna give you a little crash course on all this. First of all, there are different types of terrain. There are also different types of ground. There's different types of energy. Also, that's mostly the yin and yang thing. And of course, how you deal with the situation. Sun-TZU himself goes ahead and doesn't do this exactly the best way either, but he admits it. He does say that he is the master strategist, and almost he is of the time of ancient China, and we still use his tactics today. Allegedly, his grandson, who's allegedly his grandson, albeit carries a name similar to his, went ahead and use those tactics to go ahead and win through wars, and even wrote his own Art of War. How we can distinguish between is this the same Art of War as that is that he obviously wrote a very completely verifiable different Art of War, because he credits this Art of War, and this Art of War has been said to be existed for centuries long ago. Albeit the way it's written, it feels like it is written from like a later period, but that's not what we're here for. So what does Sun-TZU say? There are 5 methods to go ahead and fight people. I'm not going to say there are 5 methods. Watch my short summaries about that. He goes ahead and talks about the lands, how you can go ahead and get through each of the lands, and what those kinds of lands are. For example, whether it's your home territory or your enemy territory. It also talks about adherence of whether your soldiers are loyal to you, and warns you that, okay, if your soldiers are not loyal to you, that basically means it's game over and you are probably going to be denounced as a general soon. He even goes ahead and talks about trusting soldiers, and even gets a little anecdote about what happens when you don't listen to what the heck I say. If you don't do exactly what the heck I say within this book, then you will not be able to go ahead and proceed to the next part, and the next part, and next part. Okay, let's talk about empty and full now. So there are 2 types of things too. There's like the empty part and the full part. When there's a full man, that's a guy who goes ahead and does pretty much anything he could be willing to do. A full man with full energy, a well-rested guy, is very well prepared for battle, especially if he is properly trained enough to do so. An empty one who literally does not have enough energy, who literally cannot live enough and has very low energy too, will be more or less like, I don't really want to fight anymore, I want food, I want to see my family, that kind of thing, and they usually look like they're leading against a cane. This is just one of those examples. Obviously, you think that this guy would win. And then more in the later part of the book, you have to go ahead and get through the different types of terrain. For some of those terrains being like, okay, this terrain is your home territory. It's a it's like light ground. And like if you go through the light ground, that means that you should probably go invade further and further and further. And then there's an entire chapter full of pyrotechnics and that kind of thing. But here's the thing about that fire technique thing. The pyrotechniques, he goes ahead and explains to you about what's the thing about it. You should go ahead and how to burn these things. Like, okay, first you burn the supplies. Except he said first burn the men. First burn the men. Step number 1 to burning people, you have to burn the men. Step number 2, you start to burn their supplies, aka their food. Step number 3, destroy their tools, aka their wagons, to go ahead and conquer to get those supplies here. And step 4, go ahead and burn their camp to the ground. He's a megalomaniac of fire, and he's a genius at it. Firebenders will be proud of him, and they will probably use his strategy in future places and future wars too. So that's resources, calamities, and of course now we have to talk about espionage. Espionage, if you've ever played a strategy game before, you'll understand how espionage works. How it works is that there are 2 people. You go ahead and you work with them in tandem. Once you work with them in tandem, you get one into the enemy line, pretend they're part of the enemy, or at least be not suspicious enough to be noticed by the enemy. Once they're in, they get the information that they need, and once they get the information that they need, they will go out. And once they get out, they will be able to go ahead and give the information back towards the original person that is their general. Now, there are, of course, different types of spies as well, too. The first one I just mentioned is the basic kind of spy. The other one I'm going to talk about is the double spy, the one who goes ahead and pretends that he's friendly with the enemy, but in reality, he's giving them false information. A good example of this is a British guy in World War II. He went to, I forgot his name, but basically what he did was he would go ahead and give the Nazis correct information, or at least seemingly correct information that would have helped them in their battle plans, but he sends them a little bit too late, like let's say 1 day too late. Like he sends them, makes the arrival time appear like, okay, I sent it, I hope you received it, and they're like, yeah, and the Nazis even sent him a message saying that, okay, we received your message, it's so valuable information, everything was correct to the minute details, but we're sorry, it arrived 1 day late. It arrived like 1 day too late, and we couldn't use it properly enough. And as a result, obviously, that went ahead and led everyone to a little dramatic showdown. This was, oh my god, did I just reveal? Okay, this was just an incredible moment in the art of war. And with that, of course, you go ahead and realize that, hey, that's the double spy. Now, what's the third type of spy I was talking about? It is the enemy spy, where you catch a spy in your own enemy, but instead of killing them, use them for a valuable asset. You let them live, you go ahead and convert them to your own cause. And once you go ahead and convert them to your own cause, you can use it to go ahead and for your own advantage. Whatever that advantage may be, that will be for you to decide. Oh, I'll leave it like that. Once you conscript that enemy spy into your side, you can use him for valuable information, and then you can use that to go onwards and onwards and onwards. Obviously, that's a very valuable asset. And that's pretty much how the book ends. Of course, the book itself has commentaries, and some of the examples that I told you guys about are basically based from the examples that the commentators of the book themselves said. You can read the original version, that's just Sun-TZU's words. You can also read the one with the translator's notes, and the ancient other masters' notes too, like from Cao Cao and He Yanxi and Du Mu. Probably butchered those, but that's pretty much more accurate than anyone else is going to say in the Western world. No offense. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Hunter and Sean. I hope you guys will see me in the full book review of The Art of War. And until next time, Shihana, peace. Bye-bye.